Hey everybody, welcome to Surface Level, a show that takes a look at society's expectations and rejects the ones we don't see it for, all from the perspective of three Black queer best friends. I'm one of your hosts, Tony, and today, Jordan, Damon, and I are discussing who wears the pants in same-sex relationships. Do we feel pressure to conform to specific gender roles based on our partner? Does being the top in a relationship make you the man and being the bottom make you the woman? This is Masculine Sissy. Masculine Sissy. All right now, let's get into this conversation.
All right.
Today is going to be so much fun. We're talking about gender norms or not norms or the new norms. And I am excited because this was actually a topic that came up from one of our surface level insiders. But before we do that, we like to start with a little bit of fun to break the ice.
A ghetto game.
And you girls are going to like this, I think. So when you are on a date, now listen up, when you're on a date, are you paying for the date? Is your date paying, or are you going Dutch?
Dutch.
Jordan? Well, Damon.
I'm likely going Dutch.
You're likely going Dutch?
Yeah.
Same.
You're going Dutch?
Fitty. What about you, Tony?
Well, I mean, I like chivalry. And for someone to take me out, but
You're a little lady.
yeah, I could, it's like, oh my God, this is so sweet of you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just kick me.
the date is paying,
He's
period.
lying.
But get into this though. If someone asks you on a date and you're expecting them to pay, but they don't, are you seeing them again?
I don't
Damon?
know why I would ever expect somebody to pay.
Oh, there are scenarios where you would, if someone asks you on a date,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Let me take you out," and you're like, "Okay, they asked me on a date.
Well-
I think they might be, they might cover it. Like you always come with your own coin and you have your purse, but if it's positioned to you in a way that someone's like, I really want to take you out. Let me take you out. I'm going to take you to this place. Like, and in your mind is even like they might pay for this and." They probably should, but I'm okay with paying if we don't. Like we can go Dutch, but if they end up not paying for it, like are you seeing them again?
I don't know. It depends how much fun we have. I think if you say, I want to take you out, that implies you're taking me to something, which means you're paying for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Versus like, I would like for us to go out means that we would likely go Dutch.
But-
even if you say,
But
if you initiate
that's
it.
what my question is.
Okay, so if your question is like, they're like, I want to take you out. Yeah, you if I tell somebody I want to take them out, I'm paying for it.
but if
In the same scenario.
if they don't, are you seeing them again?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not like getting that fussy about it.
Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Girl.
If you say, I want to take you out, and then the bill come and you want to split it, I don't know.
Right.
That just feels
that's like funny money.
It feels very unsavory and very lowbrow, and I just don't know if I can participate.
Well, I'm learning to take the red flags out the gate, like straight out the gate. So when I see something like that, I'm like, is this a sign? Probably is. And I probably should take note. So in relationships, are you the domesticated queen or the breadwinning daddy? Jordan?
I'm both.
You both?
You ain't a domesticated nothing.
Yes, I am.
So you cook? You gonna cook?
I've eaten your food, girl. You are not the
I
domesticated
didn't say
queen.
that I cook well.
Well, there's
I
that.
said that I'm domesticated. So that means that I do clean. I do
Sure.
clean.
You clean.
And I can follow a recipe every once in a while. And I can buy all the groceries.
Mm-hmm. You can, yeah. But you're not in the grocery store, are you?
Who does that?
Regular people
Oh.
like me. Damon.
I feel both, but I can actually cook.
You know what? It's
The
the shade. It's the shade for me.
Well, I will be eating over Damon's house.
We've eaten at Jordan's house.
This is the second time this season where you said I could actually cook.
I can actually cook.
And you corner-eyed me.
I'm just
Well, for
saying,
me,
I've eaten your food. You can put food to fire.
You caught me on bad recipes. Those recipes
Oh
were
my goodness.
flawed recipes.
It's the recipes, baby.
Well,
It's
It
never
was.
you.
The recipe completely missed a stop.
Yeah, I'm like I am like Jordan where I definitely
You can't
I
cook either.
definitely can clean. But when
Tony could cook. He
when I
does taco
decide,
night.
when I decide to cook, well, tacos are amazing. Tacos are definitely really delish. And those tacos,
Ground turkey.
yeah, ground turkey.
Hard shell.
I made
Hard shell.
homemade barbacoa for you girls.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't doing that.
Yeah, no, that's why you gonna make a good wife, Damon. So, if you could choose only one, would you rather be the dominant one in the relationship or the submissive one in the relationship? And then you can only choose one. So, which is it? What's it gonna be?
Single.
Damon? Single?
Yes.
No, baby.
That's the answer.
That's not the game.
Don't matter.
It's not the game.
Uh,
Dominant, submissive. Go.
Let's go with submissive. I
Okay.
feel like I'm dominant in so many areas of my
I
life.
know that's right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's nice sometimes to
Get your life.
relax.
Mm-hmm. I know what that's like. Jordan.
I was actually going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I think
That
you know,
surprised me.
I think that I just go and go and go, and then I don't.
She's the Energizer Bunny now.
I don't.
She keeps going and going and going.
And I don't sleep sometimes, and I'm just doing all these things, and I balance all these things, and then there's nobody thinking about
Me.
What about what I
Y'all know that interlude on the I Am tour that
I can't.
Beyonce did? No, but I do feel like, I would like to just not think sometimes. I feel like I
Yeah.
think all the
Well,
damn time.
being submissive allows you to not think. But I actually enjoy that. Like, take control. Even though we all have it in us to take control now. That's like...
Don't get it
I actually
twisted,
would
baby.
like it be less
We're,
than me
we're,
to take control.
we're alpha men, but like what you're saying, we're so dominant in so many aspects of our lives that it's nice. Every now and again, like to do things nice and easy. Well, for a change, I like to do things nice and rough, but make it easy for me. So
Just wake
I'll
up
be
and
submissive.
things are handled
yeah,
with precision and care.
yeah.
Ooh.
So
No feedback. Just
right.
Like, so I made plans for us. No, you didn't, baby.
You ain't make plans for me. You made plans for you and somebody else.
Well, listen, if you're going to be submissive, though, because that's how we just answered the question, like, do you have a height requirement when it comes to who you can be submissive with?
No.
Damon?
No.
Jordan?
No.
Is that... Oh, that was a...
That was a lie.
It was a no and a sip of his drink. I don't know that that's true.
No. It's not.
If I'm going based off of body language, I think that's a lie.
Two truths.
Two-
And that was a
Two
fat-ass
truths
lie.
and a lie. Do you have more to say, or are you just gonna make
You
that
just
face?
gonna clench your jaw.
Dude, don't make
Oh,
that face.
don't make I was done.
Okay, well, be done. I think it's a fact that we've all. Well, I don't know about Damon. I can't think about all your exes.
What?
All your exes.
How many exes?
But I know that Jordan and I have dated shorter men.
I'm dating somebody shorter than me now.
Oh,
Are you dating someone right now?
That's not y'all business.
he's.
Or I have been involved. You know what?
I don't remember.
Hold
we
on
go.
now.
Girl. Well, I'm gonna.
Don't matter. Like I said before, height don't fucking matter.
Yeah, for me, it's about height in other ways. So
With
yeah, it's about with height and girth. So, all right, the title, the last one here. The title of this episode is called "Masculine Sissy," which I think is really fun, and it's rather contradictory when you hear it. Masculine sissy, both of them combined. Like, ooh, the juxtaposition, the dichotomy of it
Yes.
all. So, who do you think best fits the bill of masculine sissy? And I'm gonna name 6 men.
6. Ooh.
6.
So let's start with masculine sissy Lil Nas X, masculine sissy Trey Songz, masculine sissy Lil Bow Wow, masculine sissy Elijah Blake, masculine sissy August Alsina, and masculine sissy Miguel. Who best fits the bill of masculine sissy?
Who best fits the
Who's that
bill?
masculine sissy?
Miguel?
What, like Miguel? For you, Damon?
Yeah, like somebody that, for me, it's about somebody that's very comfortable with the feminine and masculine parts of their persona, and I think Miguel's kind of leaned into that throughout his whole career. Like when people, and like it's not even about being queer or not; it's just about femininity and the balance of masculinity. And
Okay.
I think he's somebody that's done that a lot.
When you say that, I tend to agree that he has done that. He's leaned. He's like,
Remember when
he's
he had that little bouffant?
he's our new age prince.
Oh, he did have a
And that-
bouffant.
He's our new age prince, and Prince was giving it to
now,
him.
Now that's
good.
who was on the fucking list. She is
Prince
queen
was giving it to
masculine
him good, and Miguel is like that second coming of Prince. So I think that might be my choice too. Jordan, who do you think of that list?
Lil Nas X.
Okay, because he's mask and he's feminine,
Yeah.
and he's embraced both sides, and you get
Yeah.
both. Like you get like, okay, he can be feminine
Almost immediately after one another.
but also
Right.
almost, and it's kind of like it's coming
be
to
like-
you both
It's-
hitting you at the same time.
It's like a
He'd be like-
TikTok video with prosthetic boobs on.
and
Yeah.
he had the
And
deep
then
voice.
it's like, and then it's like a do-rag and grills.
And lips,
And I'm just,
Ooh.
right.
Lot
those
of
lips,
Great lips.
amazing lips.
Great lips.
Okay,
Y'all are ridiculous.
Damon's giving up the ghost.
He is giving up
given
the ghost.
But anyway,
I'm
so
giving up the ghost too, low key.
Mhm.
everybody
It's gonna be a fun episode.
recapture Casper, please.
I was getting ready to say they called you a ghost.
Tony.
No, they did.
Why?
They called you Casper.
Why did you have to bring that up?
You brought it up.
I didn't say that.
You said it.
I did not say that. I said I'm giving up the ghost low key.
And then he brought up Casper, but when you said
But it's
didn't-
my fault.
I wasn't bringing up Jordan being Casper.
We don't have to bring up triggering trauma from my past. We are going to talk about that all this episode, I think.
oh, all right. Well, let's get into the episode.
So let's talk about queer men. And it's interesting, like we think about queer people and we associate femininity to it, but there's often an uneasiness with embracing that. So what do we think are some of the roots for that? And we can start with Jordan, since
Trauma.
No,
trauma
we can
from
start with Jordan.
trauma from childhood. No, seriously. Trauma from childhood. I think that before, I started to get the speculations or the comments about my sexuality, like there was always these comments about like, oh, like Jordan's like girly. Like, why does he talk like that? Why does he act like that? Why does he sit like that? And I literally had a family member who would physically rearrange my body to be less feminine. So I could be minding my business, eating my applesauce with my ankles crossed, and this family member would come over and physically uncross my ankles.
Oh,
And I
should have
remember
kicked him in the face.
I didn't have the courage. And this is like when I was like young. Like and I still remember it, and I'm getting fired up thinking about it because it didn't just happen one time, it happened often. And like I think over time I just sort of conditioned myself, or I didn't condition myself, I was conditioned to believe that my feminine attributes were negative.
Yeah.
And that I should do everything in my power to suppress them and not indulge in them. I had a family member who did not allow me to play with Barbie dolls when I hung out with a specific cousin. I had kids at school call me girly. I like cut off all of my eyelashes when I was in elementary school.
Your eyelashes off.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
There was a group of guys who kept calling me girly eyes. And I came home one night and I literally took scissors and cut off my eyelashes.
Wow.
And my mom was pissed. But
That's breaking news.
yeah, it was
Because we didn't. I don't think Damon or I knew that.
I mean, it wasn't that experience wasn't really that traumatic.
Well, I mean,
It sounds very traumatic.
Compared to
cut
the
your eyebrows. I mean, your eyelashes off.
That sounds dangerous.
Ball.
You could have snapped a lid, girl.
Oh no, I was an artist, so
He just stayed out of the sun because even eyelashes are there. to
my mom
protect.
was just like, "Don't you know that eyelashes are supposed to keep the flies out of your eyes?" I was just like, "Girl, that's the least of my worries. I'm being called a fag."
girl.
But like, yeah, I just think that very early on, I was taught that like just things that were feminine about me or innate feminine traits about me needed to be suppressed.
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to what has led queer men to be uneasy about embracing femininity is a lot of what Jordan just mentioned, but it's also like the societal definition of what men should be, and it's the case of the manly man, and so society, it teaches men that showing up or that showing emotion or expressing feelings is soft or less than masculine. And so there's a lot of trauma, like Jordan's alluding to, of that we've all experienced growing up as kids. You're told to man up. You're told to toughen up. You're called a sissy. You're called a faggot. You're made to fight, to prove yourself. And that all starts at a very young age. And when that's not something that you're interested in, it's just like, it's that pressure that's put on you and you don't want to be around, and it causes you to retreat and you can implode to an extent. So, Damon, what do you think?
I mean, I think you guys have pretty much covered it. I think there's this desire with queer people where we want to feel normal before embracing who we are. And I think that desire to feel normal is one of the worst fucking things anybody can be. Like, what's normal? There are no norms. Like, there are billions of people on this fucking planet, and we're all unique, and we all have experiences and unique stories to tell. And I think that when we stop leaning into that, it's when we become the least interesting. Excuse me. And I think that's something that if we stopped doing that, like, we'd be able to embrace those parts of ourselves much earlier. And so I guess that leans into my next question about, like, where do we think how do we think balancing our feminine and masculine parts of our personalities, how's that evolved over time? How's that connection to those parts of yourself shifted as you've become an adult and gotten older? Tony, maybe we can start with you this time.
Absolutely. In the younger years, it was masked a bit more. The feminine side was masked a little bit more. Because of everything that we just spoke about. But as I've gotten older, and even when I was like going into college, I think that's when I really started to find myself and started to be like, fuck it. This is how I am, and I am going to be this way whether I'm in front of family or whether I am in front of friends. And I got to grow into more of my gay self. So she, me, her, she blossomed. And I live for, the evolution of being able to just be and not give a damn what anyone has to say or think. Because there's so much power in that. And I think that there are a lot of people out there that look at people that are able to do that, and they're like, oh my goodness, the courage,
Right.
And yes, all of those things. But it's like, you can do it too. And it's not easy for everyone, but I do want to encourage you to, like, people out there, like, you can do it too. And it's a lot more freeing.
Yeah. I think for me, it's interesting that being, like, talk shit to, or I guess, quote, bullied for being more femme was the thing that developed a lot of the personality trait that I have now. Like, anybody that knows me is like, Damon's harsh as fuck, or like, can be a bitch, or all these things. And like, a lot of that was developed when I was younger out of like defense mechanisms, because I was like, I'm smaller, like, I can't fight you, but I'm learning very quickly that I can talk quicker, smarter, and more viciously to you, to where you won't fuck with me. And I think that was something that I developed as a defense mechanism to people making fun of me, or people. I used to be super fucking sensitive, and I cry at the drop of a hat or whatever. And it's something that even as an adult, I've had to kind of recalibrate and say, like, okay, what are the parts of it that are about just being authentic and like interacting with people in a way that's true, versus what are the parts where it's just like you're afraid.
Right.
And you're acting in a way that's keeping you safe because people aren't going to fuck with you. But like, where's the like happiness in that? if you are treating people in a way where you can't get close to people or so on and so forth.
So do you think that now you found a balance, or?
Oh, I think so. I'm just like, and like I mean that in the sense that when I was younger, it would just be harshness unnecessarily. I think now I'm like,
just harsh because.
no, no, I'm harsh with people I know. I think for people I don't know, I'm just apprehensive.
Okay,
is what I would say.
I mean, I
think
agree with that.
finding the space to be apprehensive and not just like jumping into new things was a balance that I needed. Like I don't know. I'm still not jumping into like relationships with a whole lot of people, friends, romantic, anything. Like I don't really enjoy tons of new people, but I think that I'm trying to do a better job of like not just saying no to individuals.
Right.
And I think that harshness was something that I developed. It was just like, okay, everybody, no, you know not to fuck with me. And some people trickle through, like y'all, and deal with my shit. And now it's just like, I ain't trying to rip the girls up no more. Most times.
Okay.
Jordan.
What was the question?
The question was around balancing the feminine and masculine sides of yourself, and how's that evolved over time, your acceptance of one or the other.
So it was just like, complete suppression all through high school, and then college was just like, a little twinkle, a little glitter. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until New York that I was just
supernova.
That I was just like, hold on, baby. And I think that for me, what really helped me sort of become more comfortable with my feminine side was being actually like a part of the queer community. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that before moving to New York, I had never really immersed myself in the queer community. Like, I have friends like Damon who we were both gay, but we didn't come out to each other in college. We were just like not talking about sexuality. We were just talking about School of Business.
Right.
And, random
That is so hilarious to me that the girls were sitting in each other's faces.
Live next door.
Gay as all outdoors, and would not bring up a thing, not even to each other.
Live next door to each other. Getting our lives.
Whole time is giving tea. Like, that to me is such a...
But you know what? I needed a friend that understood that boundary without me having to tell them.
But did you guys, it was an unspoken, like, girl, I know you
saw each other.
Right.
We saw each other.
That's okay.
But I pressed that P on her laptop, and then a very interesting website came up.
And you were like, oh, this is my sister.
And that was sophomore year. And we didn't talk about it until after we
But I'm
graduated.
like, what made you, like, not... you girls are...
Respect for who he was.
Respect.
Respect for where he was. I'm not going to be like, guess what, girl?
Girl. You're not going to be like, guess what, girl?
No. I respect. No. I would never do that. But I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me.
You're not outing a person. It's like you both knew you were gay before you saw that P. Before you pressed P on this computer.
No, I didn't. No, I actually didn't. I no.
These girls will look you in your face and lie.
I don't lie.
Okay.
I was very believable in college.
No, you weren't. Like, no, you weren't.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that it wasn't.
He was masculine presenting.
I was.
He was a masculine sissy.
I was a masculine sissy.
I was that girl. But
you're right, that girl.
But it wasn't until New York. And I don't know if you guys remember when we all started first going out to the club together as a group of three?
Yes.
And there was this one guy who was at the club every weekend. He did the single ladies
dance.
Yeah,
oh my God, I remember at
a
culture club.
Yeah. And when I saw him, I was just like, you know what? This is a full expression of femininity that I'm not used to. So I'm just like, I should at least be comfortable like singing out a Rihanna note or like a Nicki Minaj bar and not feel like, oh my goodness, I can't embrace this part of me. I feel like me immersing myself in the gay community and seeing, different expressions of masculinity and femininity had allowed me to just sort of be like, well, what do I want to give?
So you're more comfortable today, but not.
Absolutely.
And when I say more comfortable, I don't mean like in front of us girls or in front of other gay people. Like if you go in front of people that in the workplace,
Jordan will be starting the surface level TikTok with
or
the end of time choreography.
or
I say it every other episode.
Just any room where you're unsure of who's gay and who's not. Like, does it matter? Can you go in and be
I'll say
maybe not a full expression of yourself, but like
I'll say
feminine.
I'll say 95% of the time I am 100%. I'm fully prepared to let people know that I'm gay.
Okay.
And to lean into it. I think there's some times where I'm just like, because don't really feel that safe.
Because for me, so when you say let them know you're gay, like I'm not saying like you gotta let them know, like, but you mean by your mannerisms and
whatever. It could be direct, it could be indirect.
Okay.
But yeah, like I feel like like I don't have that apprehension, especially living in New York, you know, like I don't have that apprehension of like, what are they going to think about me? Like, everybody in New York knows a gay person. So it's just okay. Well,
it's the evolution for me.
For me too.
For me too. All right. So this is an interesting question. So
let us have it.
You meet a person romantically. And depending on if they present as a masculine or a feminine person, how do you interact with them? And are there differences in how you interact with them in public versus how you interact with them in romantic settings in your bedroom? Tony.
Oh, God. That was like 3-4 questions in one.
It don't matter. You got the pre-meeting notes. You know what the questions were.
Actually,
let the veil down.
I don't pre-meet. Oh no, we going.
I'm gonna go over to Jordan. Tony's not ready.
I have an answer for that. Okay. I mean, like once upon a time, I would lean into whatever the person that I'm on a date with or what have you, like whatever they're presenting, I'm presenting the opposite. So if you're coming to me and you're more feminine, I might be a little bit more like masculine because that's what it's giving. Or if you're more masculine, I might be a little bit more like submissive, if you will, based on just the dynamics, because I'm a butch queen and I'm capable of doing both, baby.
A chameleon.
So I'm a chameleon and I enjoy both. But in saying that, like, I love me, all of me, and I really enjoy being who I am all the time. So I tend to now, I take me everywhere I go. But there was a part of this question when you asked about the bedroom. And what exactly about the bedroom?
Well, because it's interesting, like, I think sometimes you interact with people in like public spaces or like if we're just on a date, but like some people just get in the bedroom, they really like being submissive or really like being dominant or so on and so forth. And like there may be a bit of a role play or a disconnect in how you just interact in your day to day versus how you interact when the sun goes down, or maybe the sun's still up. Joe.
Well, I can like
some of these girls,
because in the bedroom it's fun to allow yourself to have the freedom to do both. And so just because like if you're a more feminine guy and that's your everyday, like how you carry yourself, and that's how you are out in the streets, but in the bedroom you might like to climb a back or two. I might be the back that you could climb potentially. But I think, I don't know if we're going to get into this later or not, but I think that for me, it's about like, if I am going to be submissive, I need you to be dominant and vice versa. Because that's part of it, right? It's like, girl.
Don't say right. Tell your story. Don't bring me in.
Listen, no, I ain't gonna tell you right. I'm gonna tell my story because your story, girl, I ain't gonna tell
hold on, baby.
I'm gonna let you tell your story. Write your own book.
Make sure I have an editor.
Yeah, make sure you have an editor.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Jordan.
I think my public presentation is pretty consistent across the board. But the bedroom
is it inconsistent?
It varies.
I'm bored.
No, it varies. It varies. You know, the bedroom is sort of like a stage. You never know what character you're going to get that night.
From you.
From me. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Who else would I be talking about?
No, I thought you meant like from whoever you're in bed with.
The girls are fighting.
No.
Yeah. Because they're like, is their character?
No.
I just want to be clear so that, you know, people listening to this can
follow.
Know exactly what you're talking
can
about.
Track. Yeah. Yes. No. But like similar to you, Tony, I think that I'm all about balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if there is, a dominant energy, I feel like I need to balance it with like a submissive energy, and vice versa. I feel like in my experience, too much of the same energy doesn't necessarily work
It's stale.
in the bedroom. It just becomes like an unnecessary tussle for that energy.
Like, go unpack that. Like routine. Like, I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by that.
It just means like two dominant people,
Yeah.
or two submissive people. What does that give?
Gotcha. So like two of the same
Yeah.
in the bedroom it's like
what is it giving?
if that's your preference, yeah, it's giving like bumping purses.
It's giving movie night.
It's giving movie night with no foreplay. Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean, I think of myself as a chameleon. So yeah, I feel like it varies, but I think that my like public presentation is pretty consistent. Like the Jordan that you like meet out, like I'm not going to be like significantly more submissive or
Submissive?
No, I was trying to get a different word out,
Dominant.
but I got really tongue-tied. I think the wine is getting me. But like, or significantly more submissive
Yeah.
based on who I'm with. Like, I feel like publicly, I'll just be like even kill, middle of the road.
Right.
But the bedroom is where you can, bring out,
Sasha Fierce.
right.
Because it's a stage.
It is.
I agree. Listen, perform, baby. Because it's nothing like boring stage presence.
It's giving exit stage left.
Oh my god, y'all are
It's
crazy.
giving no rehearsal, and it shows.
It's giving cancel.
It's giving a Rihanna concert.
Oh, don't have the Navy coming after us.
What Navy? Ain't no Rihanna don't make music.
Okay.
That was the mine.
It was. 'Cause I don't hide behind the mic, bitch. No, I think I'm typically
Say
quite.
bitch. The fuck?
Who the fuck? But no, yeah, I'm if you can ask anybody in any touch point in my life what Damon is like, and you will get a fairly similar answer. But like in bed, I'm into I'm very into dominance and submission being dialed up.
Okay.
Which I think is very fun. I hate flipping.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever done that.
No.
I hate few things
No.
in life more than flipping.
Not even a cartwheel.
Oh,
No, not even
Not-
like a
not a
baby.
somersault.
Not a baby.
Not even
somersault.
you don't even roll over, baby.
Well, I mean, not to
Fine.
say not in one
Yeah, no, I don't.
in
like
one
it.
performance. You know,
Not at one show.
not at one show. Come back and give a second show. The encore. Now I'm ready.
It's like finding the golden ticket. Honestly, it's so
Yeah.
many like
Yeah.
it don't work often.
No, you're right.
I don't find it fun. I'm just like I'm tired.
Because when you're in one character, or it's like, well, now, listen, I am not on one of those Shonda Rhimes moments where I could like give you a plot twist in the middle of it.
Literally.
And you turn around with a whole different expression. And it's giving. Are you ready for part 2?
Okay, it's
no,
a
girl.
it's a cliffhanger.
It's like, no, girl, I'm terrified. We could stop now.
Like, what's happening? Like, I looked in his eyes and all I saw, it was a blank. It was just like,
It was like black.
He was transforming.
there was nobody there.
So I hate y'all. So thinking about heteronormative goals and things, they often infiltrate queer relationships. Are there certain heteronormative things, standards that you prescribe to? Jordan, we can start your way this time.
I think that, just from face value, I attribute masculinity with dominance and femininity with submissiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that I do subscribe to. And it's something that's like very real for me. Like, it's almost like instant, like if I see someone and I'm like, oh, this person is like feminine. And it's not to say that I don't find femininity attractive or sexy or masculinity sexy or attractive. It's just that like I immediately create that correlation in my mind when that's not really the case. You know, I think that we talk about this term often on this podcast about a blouse.
Yeah, a feminine top.
A feminine top.
You ain't let no blouses climb your back?
Huh?
You heard me the first time.
You ain't letting no blouses climb your back.
Yeah.
You are letting blouses climb your back.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, it's few and far in between, though.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
the right blouse.
But why is it few and far between?
because I don't necessarily put two and two together. That's always like a slower burn, like that. Like if you're a feminine blouse,
So you're not letting blouses climb your back?
huh?
Well,
I have, but it's just I'm not just completely open to the idea. Sometimes like the blouse has to grow on me. It has to be tailored onto me.
She gotta go to the tailor. She need a made to measure blouse.
I gotta get used to the blouse. I gotta like wear the blouse a couple of times. And it's just like, all right, I can own the blouse.
Not off
for
the
a little
runway.
bit. It's not ready to wear.
They're making it your size.
It's not ready to wear, baby. But like, yeah, I think that
It's not pret-a-porter.
It takes. I have like a little bit of a learning curve with that. Like I feel like I have to spend a little more time with that to wrap my mind around it and get into the mental space of being like, oh, okay, like you have these feminine traits, and I thought this of you before, but that's not really what you give. And I'm trying to make sense of it. And sometimes I'm able to be patient enough and wait around and make sense of it. And sometimes I'm just like, I can't. So those are the heteronormative things that I still carry with me today.
She took the blouse to the Goodwill.
Okay. And dropped it right off.
Tony.
So when it comes to heteronormative ideals and prescribing to those things, I think for me, it's not necessarily something that I'm interested in, because I'm gay for a reason. I enjoy the freedom that comes with being in this lifestyle, and so it's not your norm. It's not your, this show is about taking a look at society's expectations and rejecting the ones we don't see it for, and that's exactly what it's giving for me. Like, I am not taking what is your typical run of the mill, like this is how things go, this is what society says it should be, and adapting that. And I think for me, like that's like, I think that's what I love again about this lifestyle that we get to live. It's so much fun being gay, or just in the queer community. I think people, I'm not trying to like sell it to someone, but I'm just like
I can sell it, baby.
I think about this, like I do believe I was born this way, but I'm so happy that I was, because I feel like I'm having so much fun and living my best life. And that's it. Even though there's a lot of trauma that comes with it, I think there's it's the good outweighs the bad. The pros outweigh the cons. So, Damon, are you prescribing to
Child, y'all know I'm not.
the norms?
Fuck that shit. Heterosexuality is the ghetto. Yeah, if anybody's ever seen that video on YouTube, it's one of my favorite things. But actually, as we were talking,
What was it? Heterosexual?
it was I can't think of her name right now. It's Amber something. She's a queer black woman.
I
She has
love
this video
her.
called "Heterosexuality is the Ghetto."
Okay.
She's just like, why would I want to be a part of that?
Right. Oh, I need to
Right.
go watch that.
It's
so funny,
really
yeah.
good. But this question made me think about something else where like when we think about sexuality and queer relationships, we often prescribe like if you're bottom, you're like the woman, or if you're top, you're like the man. And then to take it a step further, we bring these ideas that like as a top, you can fuck whoever you want and how often you want to, but as a bottom, it's somehow more personal and you're like a woman, and we prescribe the same bullshit that's like presented to women. And I just wanted to know you guys' thoughts on that. Like, it made me, like, when we talk about these norms, like, that's one of the big norms that I think we often run into in our community specifically. Tony, she got that jaw clenched up.
I just know. Listen,
Let them
listen. I know a lot of bottoms that the power lies within. And there are a lot of bottoms where like they wear the pants. I know relationships like that where the bottom is the one is the breadwinner.
Oh, the bossy bottom.
The bossy bottom is the breadwinner. the one that's actually calling the shots. The one that is taking care of business. While still getting served in the bedroom, but it doesn't. They're still like running a tight ship, if you will, and I live for that because it's not your norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I live for the person that the bossy bottom's with that is like in that moment and letting it be and knows who's boss. Because I'm like, now that's sexy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is when a man when there's two people that get together and can identify what's what in the relationship without there being an ego trip of any sort of kind. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I think I hate what I hear a lot of times that in queer relationships, or it's not even relationships, just queer interactions, people are just like, well, I can top, but like I can't let anybody fuck me. It's just like,
Yeah.
why are they different? You're
Child.
just fucking. That's how you have sex.
Girl.
Like, there's all this judgment and like there, like you think, what sacred piece of the Bible are you giving up by giving up some cat versus?
Yeah, because I think people think that when you they call it violate. When you violate, like when you have that moment, and it's like they feel like it's
something special, girl.
Yeah, it's giving. You might actually really be into it, and
Right.
you're blocking your blessing.
Jordan, you have any thoughts?
I mean, you guys took the words out of my mouth. Like I don't believe in that. Like I think that I think that whoever is the most intelligent needs to be in charge of the damn household. Okay, like I don't care what your role is in the bedroom, but if you could take charge, make plans, handle the finances, raise the kids, it don't matter what you do in the bedroom.
Yeah,
like it's just it's distraction. It's
Right.
background noise.
right. You getting caught up in the minutia. I mean, girl.
You sound like somebody's uncle.
You are the minutia. So, again, thinking about roles, are there any deal breakers for you as you enter relationships? As he's too femme, he's too mask, he's too this, he's too that. Jordan.
Well, if I had to choose one energy over the other that I'm more attracted to, I'm more attracted to masculine energy. So there is a such thing as too feminine, but there also is a such thing as too masculine. I just think that one is less likely to happen than the other.
Shit, mask for mask. The girl's about to eat her up.
Mask for mask.
I don't give a fuck. Look, you like what you like, okay?
Like what you like.
Like what you like. And the thing is, like, I can't date somebody who's 100% masculine. Like, you have to be
Right?
able to,
Cut up.
right? You have to be able to cut up with me and queen out for a second, like every couple of hours with me. Like, I can't just be sitting here. Yeah, but no, that is
That's so boring.
That's boring as hell.
How does it go? How do the masculine people talk?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, go make me a sandwich.
Oh,
I would actually run out of the house and never come back.
I don't keep bread in my
A
house.
sandwich? Who's eating that?
I don't keep
Yo,
lunch meats.
You gonna do that for me?
Absolutely not.
I'm just like, would you like prosciutto?
Guess what?
Tony.
I'm out.
So I think equal effort is important and finding balance is important. So there are deal breakers when it comes to certain things like that. Putting in the equal amount of effort.
What?
Yeah, that's important.
Okay.
Were you just saying what, or did you have like a point? You know what I mean? Because no, I'm saying like, while we might not be making the same coin, but I believe in pitching in equally and balancing each other's shortcomings. So I don't need you to be the man or the woman. I just need you to be your best self, and show up as that. And the deal breaker for me would be when you feel like you're pouring into a situation more than what they're pouring in, and that looks different for everyone. And it's nuanced. So what might be equal effort for me might not be equal effort for someone on the outside looking in. But as long as I'm okay with it, then you don't have a license
No.
to say anything about it.
I don't care. I've said this a lot. Like I try to go into new relationships or whatever it may be without an expectation for what I think the person should be or what I think that experience will be. I just care about it being authentic. Like if your hyper masculinity, your butch queenness, your hyper femininity is authentic to you, then that's something I can respect and something that I can enjoy. And for me, the purity of a person representing who they truly are is more important than like what it does or doesn't look like.
Okay.
So if you got you dating a guy who like daps up all your friends,
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I feel like that would wear me out.
Instead of like
A hug.
That wouldn't bother me.
Okay.
Huh.
I don't know why that would bother anybody.
It's just,
No, I think I get what you're saying because when I'm around like
I don't like it.
even when I'm with straight like men, it's interesting because I go in for like my natural instinct is to go in for the hug. Where I'm like, oh hey, if it's a straight man that I've met before, like we had the handshake the first time, but the next time I see you, I'm going in for the hug. So they're like, their hand is out for the handshake, and I'm like up here, and I live for it because it's like it makes them doesn't necessarily make them uncomfortable because they hug me back, but they just weren't expecting it. And I think it's okay to normalize embracing other like queer men can embrace straight men in that way, and straight men can embrace each other in that way. And I want to normalize that. So I kind of get where Jordan's coming from, where it's
but I don't think if I'm the type of person that daps people up, that means that I'm not doing something queer enough. Like my father shook me and all my brother's hands forever. Like that's what he did. So like shaking hands for me is like is a thing that I find quite normal.
You don't shake my hand.
that's what you can find normal, but
you a fucking masculine sissy.
You don't shake nobody's hand.
But that's why I
I
think
shake people's hands.
I think that's why
At
it's
work.
different
No.
because I don't think that's I don't know. A shake of the hand seems like, bitch, are we strangers?
No, I think that there are different ways to physically express affection, and I don't think one is better or.
So there's no limit for you. You could just go.
How many times you gonna ask me this?
About what?
I don't have the answer I want.
The limit about
And you're not gonna get the answer you want because I don't think the way you do. Like I'm saying that I appreciate someone hugging me. I appreciate someone shaking my hand. I appreciate how I express myself to them. I mean, yeah. If I had a partner that like, if he came around y'all and he wants to dap y'all up, I don't know why you would have a problem with that.
Oh, he could dap me up.
I mean,
but the dap up comes into the form of a hug because when you come in,
or if I had a partner that
gives-
wasn't into physical touch in a big way, and for whatever the reasons are in their experience and in their life,
it's giving me Mike Pence. It's like
no,
It's giving Mike Pence.
it's giving Mike Pence. He can't be in another room with any other women.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I think that
You
think
can't give me a hug.
I think that people are more complex than that. And I think that people show physical affection in the way that they feel most comfortable. And I don't think we should make anybody feel bad about how they decide to do it.
Well, I just said dapping up as an example, as like, you know, I feel like giving a hug is like a very like gay culture norm. So when I'm saying it was more so in reaction to saying like you have no like I guess you have no preference over like femininity and masculinity that you can literally date 100% of the spectrum. So that's why through that I was like a random example, just because I was just trying to pressure test that and see if like
I for me it's
you
really
would
just
actually
about
date
like
someone.
your authenticity. Like if like you're being hyper feminine for like attention because you think it's cute that like you do crazy shit, or if you're being hyper masculine because you are uncomfortable with yourself and you're putting on a front, or like you're trying to play a game because you think it's going to impress my friends if you act someplace in the middle. That's the shit I don't fuck with. But like if I feel like, and we've talked about this with like certain people on social media that we see and things, just like I will always respect you if you are being authentic and you're being you. And that's the shit that attracts me more so than like one answer around femininity or masculinity, because I also don't believe in that, like, I need to be like in this fully crazy monogamous thing and like I have to get everything from that person. So like that to me is where it comes to like that not being the big concern for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other pressure tests or follow-ups?
We could talk about it after this podcast.
On the surface of sound off. Please subscribe and watch on YouTube and Instagram. So last question. More broadly speaking, do we think that there are certain expectations that we accept that men generally should live up to as a positive thing? Tony.
So with this question, I flipped the question on its head and thought about it from a different angle outside of just gender norms and playing roles, you know, domestic, breadwinner, like top, bottom, like that stuff. And I thought about it as like what a man should be. And I do accept that certain things that I think that a man should live up to when it comes to things like being a protector, a provider. It doesn't always necessarily look like someone making loads of cash, but there are other ways to provide. You can provide emotionally, you can provide physically, you can provide mentally. And
provide physically?
Yeah, provide physically. I like to do that.
I like to do that.
So, you know, if you're lucky enough to
Be provided for.
Be provided for, I can provide. And you guys too. You guys do a good job of that.
Ooh.
So what also, like my expectations are around character and integrity, honesty, trust, stability. Those things really matter to me. And I think those things matter to what a man should be, regardless, across the spectrum, heterosexual, homosexual. Like, these are certain principles that I think really matter in a major way. And when those are flawed, we can work through them, perhaps. But if we can't get to a place, like, it's a deal breaker and a non-starter, and the relationship won't work for me.
Yeah. Jordan.
As someone who was raised by all women, I don't really have any expectations from men that I don't have of women. I imagine if I was a straight man, I would want all the same qualities from a woman that I want from a man. Like, I don't have the, like, oh, you need to, like, fix the tire, or, like, you need to, like, bring in more money. It's like, no, just, like, be an active participant in this relationship. Be honest, be open, be present. That's gender neutral for me. I don't really have, like, a gender specific expectation.
Yeah. I think mine's interesting. Like, I was raised in this environment where, like, my father was always this, like, leader of our family. Okay, everybody looked for him for, like, the final answer, or for, like, some level of collaboration and how to make decisions. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with him before he passed was about we were having a discussion about how, like, I was the oldest. I'm like, he has 4 sons, 1 daughter. I'm the oldest. My mom's there. He's just like, you are now stepping into this role as, like, this leader in your family. And that was the thing that I took on with this great amount of pressure last year after he passed. And I remember having to have a conversation with my mom, and I was just like, I don't think I need to exist this way. Like, I don't think that any individual should have this level of pressure on them to try and be something that they're not, or something that doesn't feel authentic to them in their family or in any type of relationship. And I think a lot of to what Jordan just said, there should just be a greater expectation on an individual, no matter male, female, any other gender, non-binary, etc., where we're all just trying to be great humans. And in the collective experiences of family, of friendship, of relationships, we are offering something together without putting the pressure on any one individual to be a said role that they need to, like, lean into. And that's been the thing that I've been trying to accept a bit more in my life now, versus, like, what I would think to do growing up. So that's what I have to say about it.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. Everybody has a seat at the table. Okay.
We brought ourselves to the red table.
That was a different episode, Chad. All right, so that's all the time that we have this week. Let us know your questions and comments on Instagram at Surface Level Podcast or our official website, surfacelevelpodcast.com, and you can watch our responses in our video series, Surface Level Sound Off, on Instagram and YouTube. And if you enjoyed this show, please rate, review, and subscribe. And remember, stay curious.